And former President Trump is making a stop in court ahead of the New Hampshire primary. He's set to stand trial in New York to determine whether he'll have to pay additional damages for defaming writer E. Jean Carroll when he denied her claims that he raped her in the 90s and then mocked her while he was president in 2019. A jury in the same courthouse already found him liable for sexually assaulting Carroll in a department store dressing room in the 90s and for defaming her in 2022. The judge says that earlier verdict established the sexual assault and defamation occurred as Carroll alleged. So this second trial will determine what damages, if any, Trump has to pay for defaming her on 2 other occasions. Let's bring in senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky outside court, along with ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer for more. Aaron, Trump is appealing this earlier ruling that found him liable of defamation and sexual assault. So how could that affect this trial?
It won't. The judge has already determined that the defamation and the sexual assault occurred. So the only issue at this trial is whether and how much Trump might have to pay E. Jean Carroll for defaming her on other occasions. Trump arrived at this courthouse a short while ago as motorcade pulled in underground, so we didn't get to see the former president, but we have had a look at him in court. He's seated 2 tables behind E. Jean Carroll, who he has continued to disparage, most recently saying that he doesn't know who she is, despite the jury's earlier finding last May that he sexually assaulted her in a department store dressing room back in the 1990s. Diane, the case is already underway with jury selection, and it's already combative, with Trump's defense attorneys making several motions and arguments that the judge is denying, making it clear that Trump's, with him in the room, it's going to be perky today in court.
All right, Brian, jury selection begins today. So how challenging is that in a case like this?
It's going to be very challenging because we're not arguing whether or not he defamed or sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll, because that's already been decided. It's all about dollar amount. So for Trump's team, it's going to be about, okay, we want to relitigate some of these issues to whatever extent the judge allows us. That will afford us the opportunity to lower that dollar amount as much as possible. But who's going to believe the story when the judge is already curtailing the information coming in? And so for E. Jean Carroll, I think it's going to be pretty easy. Pick whoever is just going to count the numbers. For Donald Trump's team, it's a difficult task.
Aaron, what's at stake in this trial? What sort of penalty could Trump have to pay here?
Money. E. Jean Carroll is asking for at least $10 million in damages, plus more unspecified damages. So she is looking for a significant amount of money in addition to the $5 million in damages the other jury awarded her back in May. That money's in escrow while Trump appeals the case because he believes he shouldn't have to pay anything to E. Jean Carroll. But a trial that could last only a couple, 3 days is a lot riding on it financially for the former president. And he still has a campaign to run. But as we've talked about on a number of occasions, Diane, his legal challenges and his political case at this point are one and the same. The arrival here at court just 12 hours after his victory in the Iowa caucuses really tells you what this campaign and what this campaign season for Donald Trump are all about.
Brian, the judge has cleared the way for Trump to testify if he wants to. How likely is he, do you think, to take the stand? And what happens if he gets up there and says, listen, this whole assault never happened, given that has already been decided in court?
Well, the great thing about this is we've seen this already last week with a civil case in New York where Judge Engoron said you can testify, but only these limited situations. And Trump went up there and didn't testify or give a closing in that limited situation. I would expect the same thing here. He'd get up there, profess his innocence, profess it's never happened, profess he doesn't know who E. Jean Carroll is. And I think ultimately the judge will shut him down and say, you know what, we're done. I'm going to maybe wipe that from the record. Jury, ignore that. I think the big difference between the civil case and this case, though, is there's a jury. So the judge is really looking to try to curtail how much of a circus this is going to be for the purpose of the jury really only deciding the relevant information.
All right, Aaron Katersky, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.